Hey, I'm Tron, and this is Word, your daily Bible chapter summary. We have progressed into Exodus chapter 8 with 32 verses in length. Pharaoh and God are at odds. The Lord wants his people released, and Pharaoh has a hard time recognizing who he is dealing with. Moses is God's messenger and lets the ruler know what's next in verse 2. If you refuse to let them go, I will send a plague of frogs across your entire land. Naturally, Pharaoh doesn't, and Aaron raises his staff again, and the amphibious creatures crawl out of the Nile and every source of water into all parts of Egyptians' lives. There's not a sanctuary anywhere or a moment's rest for anyone. Pharaoh's magicians are able to replicate the plague too, but Pharaoh soon summons Moses and Aaron to his court to see if there's a solution to this problem. He determines he will let God's people go to worship and sets a time for the next day when Moses can pray for him. Moses prays to the Lord, and the Lord takes the frogs away, containing them to the river. But now that the discomfort is over, the Pharaoh changes his mind again and refuses to keep his end of the bargain. It is time for action again in verse 16. So the Lord said to Moses, "Tell Aaron, raise your staff and strike the ground. The dust will turn into swarms of gnats throughout the land of Egypt." Dust turns into lice. The little tiny bugs that get into everything, bothers man and beast constantly, and die hard. Nowhere to turn, nowhere to hide. Again, the court sorcerers attempt to replicate the plague, but now they fail miserably and point to God as the source of it all. Pharaoh might see it too, but feels he should be the bigger deity and sticks by his guns and refuses to let the Hebrews go. Next plague queuing up, Moses and Aaron visit Pharaoh and lets him know in verse 21. "If you refuse, then I will send swarms of flies on you, your officials, your people, and all the houses. The Egyptian homes will be filled with flies, and the ground will be covered with them." Flies. Enough said. They act like the ultimate groupies to the stubborn majesty in his court. All of Egypt is covered except where the Israelites are. This is meant to show that it is not random. This is a judgment on Egypt. Soon Pharaoh relents and invites Moses and his brother to visit. He wants this done, but to maintain control. A good compromise should do. God's people can worship, but they have to hang around and not go anywhere. Moses persuades the king regent to let the people travel 3 days away to worship God. Moses will pray for Pharaoh as he leaves the palace, and the flies will fly away. Once again, when the pest has disappeared, the monarch changes his tune in verse 32. But Pharaoh again became stubborn and refused to let the people go. There's more stuff coming. Pharaoh's stubborn attitude will bring his country on the brink of ruin tomorrow in Exodus chapter 9. Until then, Word.